I'm J.R. Church. Welcome to today's analysis of the news. I have an article here from Ynet News that says that Javier Solana, who is the EU's foreign policy chief, that's the European Union's foreign policy chief, has visited the Palestinians in Ramallah and has talked with Mahmoud Abbas. Speaking in Ramallah on Wednesday, Solana said, "The sooner this happens, that is, the establishment of a Palestinian state, the better," he says. As a matter of fact, the European Union's goal is to establish a Palestinian state with 1967 borders. That means that Israel will have to get out of Jerusalem. Solana met with President Mahmoud Abbas on Wednesday morning and is scheduled, it says, to meet later with Prime Minister Salam Fayyad. That's, again, a Palestinian politician. His visit to the Palestinian Authority is aimed at highlighting the EU's commitment to the region and supporting the Palestinian Authority's leadership. Solana is slated to visit Israel on Thursday and meet with Israeli officials. During his visit to Ramallah, Solana said that there may need to be an exchange of certain territories, but he said this should not disrupt the territory's continuity. Now, I don't know what he means by this, but according to the prophets of the Bible, Jerusalem will be divided. Even the Temple Mount will be divided, and a certain part of it will be given over to Israel. Now, you understand that the Muslims control the whole thing right now, the entire Temple Mount. But according to the Scriptures, when the tribulation period comes, the Antichrist, or whoever precedes him, will divide Jerusalem and divide the Temple Mount and will allow the Jews a place of worship on the Temple Mount. My thinking is it'll be on the north side of the Mosque of Omar, and that a wall will be built to make a separation, as Ezekiel chapter 42 says, to make a separation between the sanctuary, that's the Jewish sanctuary, and the profane place, which I deem to be the areas in control of the Muslims. So, Solana says there may need to be an exchange of certain territories. It's also possible that Solana and the EU has in mind the possibility of Israel giving territory between Ramallah and Gaza to the Palestinians so that they will have a contiguous border. In other words, Gaza will be united with Ramallah and Israel will have to give up territory to the Palestinians. How that's going to work out, I don't know. But right now, Gaza and Ramallah, that's the two Palestinian territories, are not only separated, they don't even get along. The Hamas are in charge of Gaza. Well, this article says that Solana, by the way, Javier Solana has been targeted by some as a possible candidate for the Antichrist. Not by this ministry, not by myself, but just reporting to you what others have suggested. Who knows? Nobody really knows who the Antichrist is going to be, so especially me. So he could be a good candidate anyways, running around Israel and Palestinian territory, trying to make peace between Israel and the Palestinians. And so Solana said that the EU's stance in the matter is similar to that of the Quartet on the Middle East. The Quartet being the United States and including Russia and two more partners, I think France and Britain, something like that. Anyway, he says that he expressed his support of Abbas's efforts to unite the Palestinian people in light of current dispute between his Fatah party and the Hamas, who control Gaza. Solana's meeting with Abbas came before Abbas left to go to Egypt. So right after the meeting with Solana, President Abbas, Mahmoud Abbas, took off to Cairo, where reconciliation talks between the two Palestinian factions are ongoing, and stressed that Abbas is dedicated to closing a deal with Hamas. Don't you know that's wonderful news in Israel? The Fatah and the Hamas getting together. Later Wednesday, Solana told the Israeli presidential conference in Jerusalem that the world must not accept an Iranian nuclear bomb. According to Solana, quote, "Tomorrow is today and we have no time to lose." As for the peace process in the Middle East, Solana called for limited negotiations. He said, quote, "It's time to do it. The time to do it is now. Nothing has been done in the world without taking risks." So, want you to know that there has been or is ongoing at this present time a presidential conference in Israel. And at this presidential conference, Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, gave a public message to Mahmoud Abbas. He said, "The time has come for peace." Read this article from Haaretz.com. Haaretz meaning the land. It's a Jewish website and news organization. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Tuesday called on Palestinian President to renew peace negotiations with Israel and to bring an end to years of conflict. In his address to the gala opening of the presidential conference, Netanyahu urged the Palestinian leader to tell his people, quote, "The time has come to end this conflict. Tell them that the time has come for two nations to live side by side in peace and security," end of quote. That's the message from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He's asking Mahmoud Abbas to tell his people to calm their anti-Semitic plans for eliminating the Jews from the face of the earth. And it's time, he said, for the two nations to live side by side in peace. He said, quote, "I believe that peace with the Palestinians is possible, but that requires brave leadership on both sides," he said. "I ask of you," Netanyahu added, directing his remarks at the Palestinian leader, "something I have not even asked of myself. We must discuss peace as soon as possible, and I am ready to do so. But these cannot be closed talks. We must say these things to the world, to our people, and to the Palestinian people." President Shimon Peres opened the second Israeli presidential conference on Tuesday with a gala event in Jerusalem featuring addresses by Israeli and foreign statesmen as well as performances by local musicians. So this big conference in Jerusalem on peace attracted even a video address by President Obama and Solana from Europe and Benjamin Netanyahu, who said it's time to talk peace. Well, here's the response of the Palestinians. This is a Palestinian official who said, "We're ready for talks with the U.S.